Europe's real estate market is set for a gradual recovery this year, with further investment expected into the sector despite persistent challenges. This, according to the CBRE's European Real Estate Market Outlook for 2025. Karen Gilchrist spoke to the group's executive director and head of thought leadership for Europe, who laid out the challenges facing the market.
We expect a recovery in 2025, but are there any risks, downside risks to our forecast? Of course they are. And they are the ones that you mentioned. Persistent inflation is one risk, and the other one is geopolitics, everything that is happening in the world today. Yes, we have seen some turbulence in the bond market. In Eurozone, we don't think that expectations for interest rates cuts have changed. If you see our forecast, where it was when we did our forecast and where market expectations are now, they're pretty much in line. In the UK, yes, market has revised expectations upwards, but also let's wait and see. There are a lot of things that could happen by then. So maybe we do revise our forecast, but again, we are monitoring all these recent developments.
It is a stunningly confusing market. And to add to the fray, Karen, I don't know if you've seen, it's Karen Gilchrist. You can never have too many Karens on set. Persimmon, one of the UK's largest builders, sees full-year underlying pre-tax profit at the upper end of market expectations. And I can tell you, Persimmon shares have been rubbish as of late. They've been hit really hard. Is this all about, and I'm just like most of my other questions there, is this all about Trump? My question to you is this all about where interest rates go next?
Yeah, I think so. That's what Tezos there was speaking to, really saying that they still do forecast that interest rates are going to come down, particularly from the ECB, despite some of these sort of more recent developments we've seen in bond markets and the potentially inflationary tariffs from President-elect Donald Trump. But he's still saying that they're quite optimistic about this recovery across the real estate sector for reasons including lower inflation, they still think, improved consumer confidence and a resilient labour market.
The UK, how does the UK sit in context versus the rest of Europe? Because it feels as though some of the government policies have been quite negative for personal incomes. Then we take a look at the business side, and businesses are complaining too. I mean, the retailers in particular. And this is a large part of the real estate portfolio. So how is government policy pressuring the outlook here? Yeah,
I mean, he spoke a little bit about that and how potentially the risks are a little bit greater for the UK market, rather, and that could be potentially more impacted. We're seeing the impact in the bond yields at the moment. But still, he says, it is the number one target for investors, and they don't seem to be too fazed, apparently, by these latest policy developments. It's still, the UK, London in particular, still high demand, they say. The one thing I've heard about the real estate market in recent years has been data and logistics. So you wanted to play the Amazon warehouse style model, and of course other retailers are getting involved with that type of logistics portfolio and the data centres. So is that a big feature too? That was a real standout from the report. So data centres, AI playing much more of a prominent role in the real estate market going forward. Huge demand for data centres. Providers expected to increase prices by over 10% this year and capacity to grow by 20% year on year in the top 5 markets in Europe. So certainly an area to look out for.